Hey everybody, this is Tonya Brewington, CEO and founder of Courageously Alive and of Tea Brewing Consulting and Chatty Mind Digital. Today I really want to ask, for some of you who know me, I want to ask a question, but for some of you who know me, you know me as a business consultant, you know me as a business coach, and others of you know me as a life coach. And so one of the things I want to ask is, where are you right now? Where are you on your mindset game right now? Because I find myself in a position where there are places and areas where I feel stuck, and there are places and areas where I've been having some challenges. And one of the things I realized is this is an indication that there is a mindset shift that's taking place. Now, like I said, I'm a consultant, I'm a coach, and I work with people who are business owners. I work with people who are employees. I work with people who are entrepreneurs. And no matter where we are, no matter what we're actually doing in our lives, there are times when we need to stop and ask ourselves some questions, because have you ever been in a place where it looks like everything is just going crazy? That no matter what you do, nothing seems to be going right? That things that normally would happen easily, they don't happen. Everything seems stuck, and you're like, what in the world is happening? And this has been my experience recently, where I normally have things flowing pretty easily. Things are going well, da 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 da, and then all of a sudden, it's like everything that would normally work stopped working. The things that normally would come easily just didn't happen. And so what it made me realize, as I began to step back and really ask myself some questions, I had to recognize that I was at the cusp, and you may find yourself here periodically, but at the cusp of what I consider a breakthrough, and the kind of breakthrough that meant that in order to get past this that I was dealing with, I had to think of and consider different kinds of things. The answers to questions that I normally had an answer to certain kinds of questions because I knew how to make things work in a certain way. But when I was at the cusp of this breakthrough, I had to actually do things differently in order to see some things change. And so I'm asking you, where are you? What is your experience? What is that breakthrough point that you're in? Because if you're in a position where you are similar to me, you don't have to be exactly like me, but similar in that things that normally would go well, they stop going well. If you're in business and you have customers and you know that your customers are there, you know you're marketing, you know you're producing, and you don't get your invoices paid, you don't get the customers that are coming in that you're looking for, you don't have things don't work the way they normally work in your business, then sometimes what we have to do is begin to understand how to apply a different way of thinking to what we're doing. Now, I talk about this from the standpoint of business because it is one area of my life, but this applies even to your personal life. Because for some of us, we're noticing things in our lives that we're like, what in the world is this happening? In some cases, you're finding that, around you, your family, your friends, your whoever, your significant other, you're having a situation where everyone seems to be on your case, and you're like, where did this come from? All of a sudden, it just seems like all of these things are happening. You may be in a position where you're noticing there is a lot of death and destruction around you. There are lots of things happening that you just cannot explain. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with this from a personal standpoint or you're dealing with it from a business standpoint. The truth is, sometimes when we're at the cusp of what is considered a breakthrough, we have to step back and we have to ask ourselves, what do we do? How do we actually make this breakthrough? What do I have to think of differently that will get me to the other side of this particular situation that I find myself in? What do I have to do that's different? Because when you're at this edge and you're at the point of this breakthrough, the thing is, you can either contract and go back to what you're used to, go back to what you've been accustomed to, but it doesn't change much. Or you can decide that you want to take a step, you want to step into what's coming up next, what the experience is actually giving you a chance to do. And that's when you see the breakthroughs happening. That's when you have to give yourself a chance to think through things differently. You have to give yourself a chance to do things differently. And you have to discover more about who you really and truly are. Now, like I said at the beginning, I'm a consultant, and I'm a coach. And so one thing I know is that sometimes when we're at the edge of this breakthrough, we're at the edge of looking at the possibilities. Sometimes we know how to get through it, sometimes we don't. And so I want to invite you, those of you who are listening to this and you find that you can relate to what I'm saying, because you know what it's like to be at this particular edge, and you really don't know how to get yourself through to the other side, because the other side is actually where the interesting things are. Again, like I said, you can always contract and go back to what you're used to, but you know, there's a definition of insanity that many of us have heard, and it is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And so if you really want to see some difference in your life, you want to have some different results, then I want to invite you to get on the call with me. You can actually use the link that's here in the just above the video, and you can schedule a 15-minute call so we can talk about what looks like is happening in your life and come up with some ideas and suggestions about how to actually navigate your way through this breakthrough. If you know other people that you think may benefit from this kind of information, then I would I'll actually say, hey, it would be great if you could actually forward this over to them so they can actually be benefited as well. Take care, you guys. I wish you well. Whatever you're going through, just know that there is another side of it. And I'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now.